KP Sharma Oli and his cabinet ministers resigned in the face of growing public outrage and widespread criticism, both domestically and internationally, over the protesters' deaths. Provoked by the deaths of the protesters on September 8, angry young demonstrators burned down several government buildings across the country, including the Parliament and the Supreme Court. Several politicians' residencies were also set on fire, while leaders of major political parties went into hiding. The Nepal Army is currently mobilizing troops on the streets to take control of the situation, but power has not yet been officially transferred to a new government. Well, joining me now, right straight from Nepal, is Sundar Ghimire, and he's the former Deputy Head of Foreign Affairs Department in Nepal. Good evening, Sundar, and welcome to the show tonight.
Hello. Hello, good evening, everybody.
You're welcome.
And good evening, Nigeria.
It's good to have you here in Nigeria. Now, do tell us all of this, how all of this degenerated into this very huge protest that we see now. Can you give us like a back-end story of how it all started?
First of all, thank you for giving me a chance to speak my country words to the world.
Great.
To the Nigeria also. And Nepal that's the protest is called from, it's a Gen Z protest, and it's a start. That's the young generations which belongs to between born in 1997 in 2012, the young generation team, they have to started this in the social media ban was the main trigger. The government banned the social media. That's the main trigger. But long-standing issues that are corruptions, unemployment, and inequality fuel the youth angers, and that's make the protest and movements in streets in this society in current situation.
Now, I know, of course, according to reports, it's everywhere in the news. There's been a lot of chaos, and even the reports of the burning of the former Prime Minister's wife. Now, what were some of the Prime Minister's sins against Nepal, and in what areas were his high-handedness obviously visible to the young people? As you have said, that this is like a Gen Z protest, because of course they were angered by the fact that the government was just about banning all 26 social media platforms. What are some of the things that he had done?
The protesters are, they burned all political leader houses, their assets, and all the things what they find in their way, they can burn. And one of our ex-prime minister, Jagannath Khanal, and his house was burned. But that time the protesters also burned his wife also. It's an extraordinary time. So it's not too much harm to her wife. Now she's little out of danger, and now she's in hospital. And other political parties like Maoists and Nepali Congress and CPNU-ML, all the political leaders' houses and assets are burned by the protesters.
So can you tell me what stage of the protest that you are on now, especially with the installation of a new prime minister? Is the protest still being escalated, or it's being de-escalated?
That's the main thing. When the protest second days, our ex-prime minister, now ex-prime minister, Mr. KP Sharma Oli, resignation. After the resignation, Sushila Karki, she became the interim prime minister now, and our parliament is also dissolved, and the elections are scheduled for March 2026. I think so calm is returning, but the public expectations remain too high. Let's hope see what happens next.
Now, let's talk about the Nepali government. How do you think that the government in Nepal can begin to cut down on expensive or excessive spendings and, of course, ensure that the people are fine in their welfare, because it does seem that this came from a very, very angry point of view, especially amongst the Gen Zs.
I think so. There is a lot of weakness in our governance. That's the lack of transparency, a growing distance with the peoples, and also the positive state of development and diplomacy also. That's the main problem, major problems. That's our government, that's the government's done, so the people make this revolution.
So do you think that with this protest that's been organized by the young people, that there would be a very strong headway in terms of the government realizing their mistakes and trying to correct it?
What I like to say that it's also same like what you say, but in this situation, 26 social media is banned. That's the main agenda. And other thing is corruptions, but government also having some problems about they are not listening the people words. That's the main problem, I think so.
Great. So as a youth leader that you are in your country, what efforts are you going to be making to make sure that, this situation begins to calm down? Aside from the army being deployed now, what is your office doing?
Now it's already, it's a calm here, because the already government is, already interim government is ruled by Sushila Karki. Now she is a prime minister, and she also formed formation of three ministry. Already three ministry, there is no problem. And I like to suggest if there is the leader must believe more than stealing, invest more in health and jobs and educations, strengthen anti-corruption measure and transparency, build a culture of listening to the people, then it helps to our country reforming. I think so. New agenda and new type.
Well, thank you so much for telling the people of Nigeria what it is there and for letting us know that the situation is getting calm at the moment. Thank you so much for joining in.
And then one thing is, if the new generation they can do, then sure they will be do. And I hope so. Our government also listening the new generation words and what they want. Surely, it's make a change in our country, in all globes, and what they need. Sure, it will be make a change.
Great. I think the Generation Z have the same mentality worldwide, so they have the unity of purpose, and if they set out to do something, they just go right ahead to do it. Thank you so much for joining in this morning in Nepal, and we say good morning. Thank you for joining in, and of course, we'll keep our eyes on the stories coming from there.
Thank you, my friend. Have a good time. Take care, all Nigeria. Have a good time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. And now to end the news, here's a reminder of the top stories. Young creatives empowered to tell better stories at Afia TV's Alibo Creative Workshop. Suits seeking to stop David Mark Arabishola from taking over ADC leadership suffers setback. And Power Generation Company supposes threats to cut off the national grid. On the region, Tanzania opposition presidential candidate barred for the second time. That's all we have for you tonight on Afia TV News, and do follow us on all our social media platforms at Afia TV Official. On behalf of the entire production team, I am Amazing Grace Ajayi. Thank you so much for watching. Good night.